Do you know this guy? Probably not, but you should. He's quite rich. And why is rich? Because he invented Starbucks. Yeah, and he's a friend of Bill Gates, of course, because they came from the same city. But did he really invent Starbucks? No, he stole it. He stole it from us, from Italians. So he stole the Bella Vita experience, coffee experience from us in Milano. I'm from Milan. No? So I read about this in an article around 2000, and I got pissed off. No? So together with some friends, all coming from the digital revolution of the late 90s, we gathered together and we said, okay, how can we replicate this Starbucks experience with another thing that is very famous, another Italian very famous thing? And we decided to go for wine. So we wanted to create the most interesting experience to consume Italian wines around the world, a chain of wine bars, and we call them Euposia. So we started with our team, then we added 2 people for marketing and communication. We added 1 person that was responsible for franchising and the financial controller. So the team was ready, and we raised, we cannot see it, but okay, we raised 1.2 million out of fools, family, and friends. And my 2 brothers and my only cousin invested in it. So this is the first shop that we opened in Milano, very close to Corso Como, which was one of the most important places in Milano to open such a thing. And we renovated it. It was almost 300 square meters on 3 levels, and we spent 500,000 euros to set it up. So 500,000. Then how would you market this new brand? Spend millions in advertising, or we created a wine magazine with the same name. So the idea was we would have thousands of readers, we would educate them, and then we would turn it into customers. The idea was great initially, and on the first 4 issues, we added a video cassette with a wine tasting course. I appeared in it, so if you're able to find it, it would be, I had black hair at the time. And we almost sold all the copies, so it was a great success. And then we had a 3rd leg. This is fake, of course, generated by AI. I wasn't able to get the original picture. And we created also an e-commerce website, because it was natural for us. We were all coming from that experience. So it was a big success. The first 2 months. So in the first 2 months, we had revenues both from the magazine and from the shop that were higher than expected. But then we turned into a total failure. How? So the first thing is that after 2 months, we discovered that 5,000 euros were missing from the cash desk. We fired the store manager, and we decided that every founder would donate 1 night to the wine bar to check the accounts. So the accounts then were always good, but we lost 1 night. And this was something that was painful for all of us. And after 2 months, we discovered that also waiters and maybe a cook were stealing food and wines. So we put cameras, but at the same time, our mood was changing a bit. So we were happy, and now we were, what kind of business is this? No? Then, second thing, bar sales were not increasing as expected. And the reason was simple. It was the place. One of the rules of the market, And because it was on 3 levels, and 2/3 of the total sitting area were downstairs. And people didn't want to stay downstairs. They wanted to have a look out of the window. We had just one window in the shop. So, and this was a structural problem because people don't want. So we were paying a rent. Then there was the infamous, at least in Milano, heat wave of 2003. So for 4 months, from May to August, it was very hot. And guess what? People don't want to drink wine. They want to drink water and beer. So we were a bit fucked up. And so we arrived at September, and in September it was time to try to raise more money because we almost ran out of money. We fired some employees, we reduced the opening hours, we tried to reduce costs also on the magazine, we tried all possible things, but in the end we were not able to raise more capital. So we were hitting a wall. So we started to try to sell our assets. I was able to sell the magazine because in reality the magazine was turning a small profit, but I was not successful in the beginning to sell the shop. In the end, a guy approached me and said, okay, I can rent it for 3 months. I will try to turn it around and then I would buy it. I said, okay, we signed the contract. And after 1 week, he called me and said, okay, this night somebody came and stole all the wines. Again. No? So I went to the police station. I said, I think that guy stole the wine. And then I went to the court and I filed for bankruptcy. So, all gone. So, this is the final accounting. We burned 1.6 million, and this is the breakdown of the cost that we had. I didn't put the magazine because, as I said, it was going well. So, what I learned. So, Ofele faltò mestè, it's Milanese, so not Italian, only people from Milano can understand it. It's a Milanese dialect saying that means, if you are good at making this thing, which is an ofella, then do just that. No? Broadly speaking means, if you're good at do something, do that. No? Don't go into market that you don't know. And in reality, what was the problem is that none of us ever had experience running a business like that. We never had somebody that was running a restaurant or a bar. If we had, probably we didn't have rented that space, we didn't have people stealing us things, and so everything could have been a lot better. So team was wrong. And in startups, team is everything. Then, don't do business with your relatives. No, I lost one brother, and he didn't talk to me. He's not talking to me since then. And my children lost an uncle. And in the final years of my mother, she tried to make him change his mind, but she failed, and she was suffering a lot. So you can do business with friends, because if you lose a friend, you are the only one suffering. No? And of course the friend, but it's part of the game. So be visionary, but not too much. So we didn't solve almost anything through the e-commerce side because it was simply too early. Just 10 years. A friend of mine, after 10 years, created almost the same thing. And after another 10 years, he sold it to Campari and LVMH, the big brand of fashion and luxury, making a big profit. So we were just 10 years too early. So that's it, guys.